Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Berean TV. I wanted to do another little short video. Being that I'm involved in Christian apologetics, I get a lot of questions, emails. I meet a lot of people that say some very interesting things. And it amazes me how people say, you know, you Christians just take things and believe it at face value. It amazes me the amount of people that I meet and they say, well, King James, Shakespeare wrote the King James Bible. Shakespeare wrote the Bible, and for you Christians that don't know, a lot of mystics out there, esoteric people come in circles, and they'll say that the story goes that Shakespeare's 46th birthday, he wanted to put his name in the Bible, and King James didn't want him to put his name in the Bible, that he was the leader of the translation team, as the story goes. So he went to the 46 Psalms. And if you look in the 46 Psalms of the Bible, and if you count 46 words backwards from the front, and you count 46 down from the bottom upwards, you'll see the word shake and you'll see the word spear. And that's Shakespeare signing his name to the Bible. I meet other crazy people with some crazy arguments about Shakespeare and Francis Bacon, and I'll understand that thing right there was Francis Bacon, really Shakespeare. But when it comes down to the King James Bible, I see people make those claims. They approach me or they send me emails and they make those claims. But in making those claims, I would ask them simple questions about Bible transmissions, about the history of the Bible. And I come to find out not only Christians, unbelievers, a lot of people do not have a working knowledge of how the Bible was transmitted, how the Bible came down. The first thing I want to bring out is before the King James Bible was even on the set, even before the King James Bible was on the scene, there were already 5 English Bibles in existence already. Already 5 Bibles. So it's just crazy. Shakespeare didn't really have anything to do with the Bible whatsoever, and there were 5 English Bibles on the set already. If we're looking at different various Bible manuscripts, it is impossible. When people start talking about the white man tampered with the Bible, it amazes me where this stuff comes from. And like I said, they don't have a working knowledge of the Bible. What's another thing that I get a lot in the emails, a lot in questions on why they took books out of the Bible? People. They did not take any books out of the Bible. When it comes down to it, there were certain books that were never introduced into the canon. What we call the canon, that's just a measure of faith. That's like a tape measure. I do construction, a regular Stanley tape measure, that would be considered a canon, a reed, or how we measure our faith. As a Protestant, I measure my faith from the Bible, Genesis to Revelation, those 66 books. That's in the King James Bible. That's how we measure our faith. Now, we have something that's known as the Apocrypha that came around in between Malachi and Matthew that Jerome put in the Bible in 400 AD, but it was always considered as deuterocanonical. It's beneath the canon or a second canon, or it's not on the same level as the rest of the Bible. So I'll read 1st and 2nd Maccabees. There's other books on Ezra, Hebrew Israelites. They like saying this was an original King James Bible. They put it in there, but they put it in there and they stated that was not on the same level as canon, that the book of Ezra is not on the same level as Genesis or Deuteronomy or the Gospel of Matthew. And that was always stated. Now, if you go to seminary, if you're in heavy Bible school, you're in seminary, they'll tell you it's good to read those books. Other non-canonical books would be the book of Enoch. The book of Enoch, and what makes the book of Enoch interesting is that the book of Enoch is quoted in the book of Jude. So people in the 1st century, they had a working understanding of the book of Enoch, and it prophesied the coming of Christ before Christ actually came on the scene, and prophesied his second coming. But the book of Enoch is not canon. It's not that it was in the Bible and it was took out of the Bible. There were books that were never part of the canon. Now, a lot of people like I don't know, conspiracies. They say some King James, they say Constantine got together and they picked the books of the Bible. All of this stuff is internet madness. Historically speaking, that stuff can't stand. When we deal with the history of the scriptures and how scriptures came about, you can pull up Athanasius, go pull up these words on these names, Bishop Athanasius, and he spoke on the canon. Eusebius, he spoke on the popular books. Can I say? How can I give this to y'all like an example? When people start saying, well, the King James Bible is tampered with, and they put books in the Bible and they pick certain books of the Bible, that's good for the Da Vinci Code. But when it comes down to it, they accepted the books, they just gave us a list of the books that were accepted all over the place. How can I explain this? And let's say we're dealing with music, rap music or R&B music or something that y'all are familiar with. Something that would be considered canon would be something that's accepted, like Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, somebody that can shut the airport down in China. Now, you have other singers in America that's not even known. I'm from New York. Some people from New York, some in Florida. You have rappers in New York, they're not even known outside of their circle. They would not be considered canon. Then you have other rappers. You have people like Jay-Z, Beyonce, his wife. They're known in the music. They're accepted on a larger scale. And that's what the canon was about. What people started reading, what was popular in Antioch of Syria, what was popular in Ethiopia, was the book of Genesis, was the gospel of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The four gospels were established canon from the very beginning, and that was just for tradition. And it was already established. So when people say, well, they took books out of the Bible, that's not correct. Those books were never in the scriptures when it comes down to it. Oh, King James, y'all have to understand. Even that same thing when you start dealing with the canon, a lot of people hit me and they said, man, brother, you don't have an understanding of what went on with Constantine. Constantine, Jesus was a prophet and they made him God. Y'all don't have a working understanding. When I ask people about, well, give me a source on that. What's the primary source for the Nicene Council? They don't have a working knowledge, but they act like they do. For me to say, as a believer, Constantine made Jesus God, what am I going to do with Bishop Theophilus that came on the scene that was the first one to use the word Trinity? What am I going to do with the Christians in the first century that already was worshiping Jesus? That's like me saying that T.I. invented hip hop. Ludacris invented hip hop. What am I going to do with Run DMC? What am I going to do with Heavy D, Grandmaster Flash? What am I going to do with KRS-One? I'm just bringing it into a musical illustration because a lot of people understand music. I can't say T.I. invented hip-hop. There were too many people already on the scene dealing with hip-hop. Hip-hop already existed before T.I. and Ludacris and all these other Southern rappers. That's just how it is. Now, I would have to forget all of the other years, decades of rap before they came on the scene to say that they invented hip-hop. And that's what a lot of people are doing with the worship of Jesus and the nature of Jesus, the twofold manner of Christ and who he is. Y'all are trying to make things up to fit y'all conspiracy, to fit what you believe is going on with Constantine. And most of those people cannot even tell me what the primary source was. Who was at the Nicene Council? What was it all about? I have another video on that. Y'all can check it out. But I just wanted to drop that right there. It's amazing to me. Scripture says, study to show thyself approved unto God. A workman need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. If you like what you hear, subscribe. I'm going to be dropping some other videos. I got a few out there, but we're trying to set up some other stuff, and we're doing it slowly. But I just appreciate y'all watching. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon.